Hooking up everything working right.
What can I see?
Hooking
Can I
up
hear us?
everything working right. I don't know. Can
What
you?
can I see?
Want to
Yeah,
come
all
through?
right.
All right.
Right on the Twitch. Sides up. Hello, Will.
Hello, sir.
YouTube side. Side is up.
Everything seems to be working. All right. Get it all sent out. Let the world know.
What the world needs now is the Full Spectrum Podcast.
Not bad. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I made that up on the fly just now.
Congratulations.
I don't know how obvious that was. All right, I have two pre-show topics for you.
Okay.
So the first one is it's just Hideo Kojima tweeted out 4 images. And they are a very close-up shot of
We just got that moment.
they're a very close-up shot of Kamen Rider Black.
Okay.
A chest shot with the helmet, part of the helmet of Kamen Rider Kabuto.
Okay.
A shot of Kamen Rider Ryuki in front of a mirror. And a shot of Kamen Riders Gaim and Zangetsu from Kamen Rider Gaim.
So what bugs are they based off of?
So that's the thing. Gaim is based off an orange samurai.
Okay.
Zangetsu's based off a melon samurai. Ryuki is a dragon.
Okay.
Kabuto is a stag beetle.
Hmm.
And Black is a grasshopper. Some say an ant.
Okay.
The question is, what does it mean? What is Kojima
What's going
trying
on
to
right there?
say?
Glad you're here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I have to see the images, or maybe nothing at all. Maybe it's like watch what happens when I put these on.
It could also just be him going, "Yeah, I like these designs."
Yeah. So is he doing something inspired off those?
I don't know.
Is he remaking Manimals? Is the
I hope this means Kojima's going to show up on the newest Kamen Rider series character.
oh, that might be it. Yeah. He's directing the new game.
Best part though is seeing all the people in the comments, like the replies, being like, "What does it mean?"
Missed something.
And
What could it mean?
I have one more pre-show topic for you.
All right.
Which is this was tweeted out by a film critic account. And some people say the movies are dying. And it's a list of major movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
And it feels like a different year entirely. You remember how, like, a couple years ago, we had a bunch of things that were remakes of old things coming out, and the joke was like, hey, it's like 2007 again. Ha ha ha. And then last year it was like, hey, it's like 1997 again.
Yeah.
This comment of, and some people say the movies are dying, when we have Creed 3,
Yeah. Yeah.
Scream the remake,
Okay.
the second Shazam, the next John Wick, a new Dungeons Dragons movie, a new Evil Dead movie.
I don't think I knew about that one.
Evil Dead Rise, apparently. I didn't know about it either.
Okay.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yes, I know that one.
A new Transformers movie.
Yeah.
A new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
A new Little Mermaid movie.
Yeah.
A new Indiana Jones. A new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
A new Willy Wonka movie.
Might as well throw it in there.
A new Aquaman movie.
Okay.
And then a new Dune movie. And then there's like a bunch of other like things that aren't just, hey, we're making another one of these, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like Kraven the Hunter's getting a movie finally. Blue Beetle's getting a movie. The Flash is getting a movie. Maybe
Look, I'm kind of surprised that they're gonna bring Craven the Hunter in,
Yeah,
because I mean that don't get me
that's
wrong,
true.
that's one of my favorite storylines from Spider-Man is
Yeah,
Craven, because Craven's nothing special.
agreed.
He is just a human big game hunter. All that, but it ends up really dark.
I think they're
You
doing that
know,
because of Morbius. Because I think they think Morbius was a huge success.
They released it twice.
Yeah. I think they unironically think because of the meme that Morbius is just like this great fan hit.
I guess so. I mean, if they do Craven, they might do it justice. It might be a good
They might do
show.
it.
Just saying, I know how it ends up for Craven. It's not very nice.
Yeah.
It's rather disturbing.
Yeah. What a weird year this is going to be for me.
Yeah, there's some good ones in there though.
Yeah, that new Ghostbusters. I mean, again, I haven't seen Afterlife yet, but Afterlife 2 or whatever it's being called seems cool.
I watched Afterlife this weekend. It's one of the ones I was going to talk about in weeks.
Oh, okay.
Enjoyable. Yes, very enjoyable movie.
I'm excited for the Blue Beetle movie because Blue Beetle is a great character that has been done so poorly in almost every adaptation.
Yeah, well, he's one of the characters that's like they bring him into the cartoon, and he's not, and more into the kiddie side of cartoons, I guess you would say, right?
Yeah, he never gets his due.
Yeah, he's been a cool, been a decent character in a couple, but yeah, never really shown off.
Yeah. All right. That was a pretty successful pre-show topic.
Yes, we talked.
You ready to kick this thing off?
Absolutely.
All right. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum Podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
Which reminds me that I need to fix the names.
Yes.
Back to Trey and Rungren.
Not yes. No Transgren.
That's right. But, of course, at any time, chat, you can change that if you want to. You have the channel points. We have a podcast this week. We have a lot of news. My docket is full.
Yeah.
But before that, we normally start with weeks, and the last 2 weeks, we have a request in the chat, by the way, Rugrat.
Good news, everyone.
So, Gunpla. The last 2 weeks, we have started the podcast off with a quiz.
Yeah.
Do we have one this week?
I do. I got a quiz for you.
Okay.
You got a 75 in nerd class so far.
That's a passing grade, almost.
It is. Now, I was having a hard time choosing for this week.
Okay.
And so, I decided on I narrowed it down. I came down to it's gonna be a Studio Ghibli.
Oh,
quiz.
okay.
Yes.
I'm not as confident this week.
Well, after the past two, where I got 10 together, there's a lot more stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff about Studio Ghibli.
I'm sure.
I've got 20 here.
Okay.
But we can cut it down to 10.
Okay. We can bring the other 10 back another time if we need them.
Right, exactly. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah. That's compliment, yes. All right. Now you have a problem with Gunpla.
G-Self is pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So, all right. The name Ghibli is based on the Arabic Sirocco, the Mediterranean wind.
Okay.
As the studio wanted to what? You don't have to get exactly word for word. It was their motto when they were starting out. But what did they wanted to do?
Oh boy. Okay. They wanted to. This is a complete shot in the dark. They wanted to
I shall win.
raise the hearts of their viewers, raise the hearts of people that watch their films,
That's
to
a
blow the dust off.
that's a beautiful thing, but no, that's not what they were going for. Miyazaki was going for with that. It kind of makes sense to me. Make things refreshing like the wind. That's a lot closer. That is a lot closer. What they wanted to do was blow a new wind through the Japanese anime industry.
Of course, yeah,
That was
makes a
his.
lot of sense.
That was his. It makes sense, yeah. But that was his vision.
Yeah.
Through that. All right. That was kind of tough. I know.
Wind is very important to all those movies too. There are a lot of wind themes in those movies.
Yes. That makes sense. But that, yeah. Hey, I'm picky. I'm picky.
You gotta be.
Okay. This one might be interesting to you. I don't know. I'd be surprised if you get it, but maybe. All right.
Okay.
So, Studio Ghibli sent a samurai sword to Miramax with a simple message on it. Do you know what that message was?
No. I'm gonna guess. Message was.
It was a tough one. It was a tough one.
I'm gonna guess the message was to rise again. As in the Japanese proverb, doesn't matter how many times you fall, it only matters how many times you rise.
All right, it's a nice try, but no, it simply said no cuts.
Oh, that's so clever.
The studio has a strict no cuts policy after 1984's Nausicaa was butchered by an American studio to make it more audience friendly.
Yep.
14 years later, Studio Ghibli sent a Miramax a samurai sword with a simple message: no cuts. After Miramax left scenes from Princess Mononoke on the cutting floor.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. That's great.
Yes. Yes. I got a true or false for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. The daddy, help me with the name. Hayao Miyazaki.
Yeah, Hayao Miyazaki.
Okay, yeah. Make sure I get that right as I'm quizzing you about them. All right. Is well known for taking a long time on his scripts.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. True or false?
Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I think that might be false. I think he might just run with this first draft. Because I think that's one of the complaints he had for his son.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's false.
All right. Well, the fact is, it is false. In fact, as founder and principal director, he never uses a script.
Yeah.
He doesn't have he says he doesn't have the time. He just relies on spur of the moment ideas.
Yeah.
All right. Now we've got some. Oh wait, you got that one right. We'll do that one there. Think too risky.
That's one of the big complaints he has with his son, is that his son takes too long to write a script.
All right. So, Batman actors, Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, they have both voiced a Western translation of a Studio Ghibli film.
Right.
Can you give me either one of those? I'll give you a bonus point.
I can get both.
You tell me both. Yeah.
Christian Bale is Howl from Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay.
I want to say Michael Keaton is. I don't think he's Ashitaka. I think he's the the guy from the what's the right phrase? The soldier guy from I think he's the soldier guy from Laputa Castle in the Sky. Can't remember the name, but it's the soldier.
No, he was the voice of Porco Rosso. Porco Rosso.
Was he really? I have never seen that movie in English. I love that movie.
Oh, you're just laughing at because dark. Yep, I don't know.
That's great.
Gave you the point for that. Excellent. All right. Okay, so speaking of, okay, so 1994's Pompoko.
Okay.
It's got some questionable creative choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, a band of raccoons rescue a forest being from being bulldozed, and they use what as a weapon?
They are Tanuki, and they use their ball sacks as weapons.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I love that movie, by the way. Pompoko is so good.
Yes. Yep. Inflate up to twice the size of their body, and they use it as a mace-like weapon.
Wham!
Which is actually from Japanese Tanuki folklore.
Yeah.
So, there you have it. So, do you know why Hayao Miyazaki refused to attend the 2002 Oscar ceremony?
2002.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's because that was the year that Tales from Earthsea was nominated, and he cannot stand Goro's work, his son.
No.
That's fair. That's fair.
No.
I don't remember what happened in 2002.
I've slept since then a couple times, actually. He actually didn't go. He was protesting the Iraq War.
Oh, okay.
In Iraq, yeah. He was protesting that. That's why I didn't go to the 2002 Oscar ceremony.
Okay.
So make sure I keep up with my marks here. All right.
You should watch Porco Rosso.
Ooh, this was going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Arrietty, or the borrower Arrietty,
right,
was based on the popular 1952 children's novel. Can you give me the title? And I will give you a bonus point if you can give me the author. I want the title of the novel that's based on.
I believe there's a full title for it. It's not just The Borrowers, I don't think, but I'm going to say The Borrowers.
That's it. It was based on The Borrowers. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember the author's name. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of it, but I don't.
It was written by Mary Norton.
Okay.
It was, so they released it in 2010, but apparently though Miyazaki and the co-founder Isao Takahata had been working on that for 40 years.
Wow. I can tell you the name of the singer-songwriter that wrote Come to the Garden, which is stuck in copyright hell, that plays in that movie, and that's Cecile Corbet. But I could not remember the writer of The Borrowers. I love that song, and you can't listen to it on anything.
Let me see how to phrase this one. Okay, so Disney is Studio Ghibli's USA distributor.
Right.
Go through that. Can you do you know the name of the title of one that they turned down They were worried about its profit potential, but there was
Yep.
a City of Jubilee they turned down.
Yep. It was Only Yesterday.
No,
No, they turned down Only Yesterday as well.
did they?
Because Only Yesterday has a girl going through her period in it, and they were afraid that it would not market well over here.
Okay. Well, the one that was that I found is called From Up on Poppy Hill.
Oh yeah, that's that one because the sort of incestuous vibes.
Yes.
It's not incestuous.
So,
You should watch the movie. It's great. It's a great movie. But I get that. I understand that.
okay. Well, you brought up one that I didn't find, so I got to give you a point for that. That was true. All right, we're on number 9. Let's see. So speaking of From Up on Poppy Hill, that's a second film directed by Goro
Right.
Miyazaki. What was his first?
Tales from Earthsea.
Yeah, that's it. That was an easy one for you, huh?
I love Goro's work, and it amazes me that his father hates his work with such a passion.
All right. We're last one for this one, and then since if I have all the information, you might have a little heads up and get a quiz for this one again.
Okay.
But something happened in 2011, and that was when From Up on Poppy Hill's production was, From Up on Poppy Hill was in production, right? Um, so most of the animation for that was done at night. Do you know why that was? What happened?
I think so, but I'm not positive. So this could be wrong. But I believe
Okay.
it was because Hayao Miyazaki and Goro Miyazaki had a huge falling out, and Hayao Miyazaki said that he was not allowed to be in the studio at the same time that he was. And a bunch of the animators sided with Hayao Miyazaki, so Goro was stuck with the people that were loyal to him, basically.
Well, that might have happened, but there was also a tsunami and
Oh, well.
earthquake that year.
Yeah, that was probably it. That was probably it.
So 1, 2, 3. I got you down as a 60. You're falling off, buddy.
I feel
You're
good
falling
about
off.
that with the fact that I was very concerned about this going in. Also, just a quick aside for anybody that wants to look into the weird relationship between Hayao Miyazaki and his son, there is a lot of misinformation out there about their relationship. There was a story that was run in 2016, I believe, that said that Goro had tried to stab Hayao Miyazaki. And that
no.
never happened. That never happened. Like he may hate his work, but he does not hate his son, and they don't, as far as I know, don't have a bad relationship. He just doesn't think his son makes good movies.
What? Wait. I think you got 4 last week too, didn't you, Dark? At least you're staying consistent. You're hitting that mark. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Back over here.
Those are fun.
All right.
Ready to jump into weeks?
Yeah, let's do it.
How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. I watched rather than New Year with Ghostbusters. Watched the original, the second one, and Afterlife.
I wanted to be so bad.
The which Afterlife's just so good. I mean, look, Ghostbusters is cheesy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right?
Right.
And we expect that from some of the IPs. What they hand us is like, enjoy this cheese.
Yeah.
You know, you may even cringe a couple times, but so the first two had this that kind of this feel to them, and you've got the that camera quality from the 80s, that
yeah.
grain. So there is some consistency. There is some
good.
consistency going between the two movies.
Yeah.
Now the I like the first one a lot more than I do the second one. The second one's got some good lines in it, and it had me cracking up a little bit. But then to have like with Ghostbusters Afterlife, that's Ivan Reitman's son,
Right.
the director of the first. He's like, no, I want to do this movie
Hmm.
to for my dad because he grew up on the sets of these movies.
Nice start. No, that's really cool. That's a nice touch.
It is, and took it seriously and did it really good. And I love at the end of it. And there is rumor of an Afterlife 2, but the new set of Ghostbusters you've got because there's a group of kids at the end of the movie.
Right.
And when you see it, there's a group of kids. I was like, okay, that's them, and they set it up and hand it down real well. I know you haven't seen it yet. I'm trying not to spoil anything.
I appreciate that.
At the end, too much. So looking forward to that. Of all the stuff that gets rehashed and is not very good, it was nice to see this one done well.
That's good.
So I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
But then I watched another really stupid movie that was and it was intended to be very stupid. And it was called Dudes and Dragons.
Okay.
Yes, and it pretty much makes fun of the whole fantasy like D&D adventure. It's not D&D. There's no role playing. It's set in this universe, right?
Okay.
It's set there, but so many of the cliches and tropes, and it was really well done. And I think, I think they made it off a Kickstarter.
Okay.
And they've got if they did, they spent all their money to get Luke Perry and James Marsden.
Okay.
And look, James Marsden plays a great part in this.
Yeah.
He is. It is obviously he is so overqualified for this movie.
Right.
But it doesn't, just because it's this, he's doing it. He's in it. He's playing the part. He gives it his all.
Right.
And he does. Of course, he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
He does a damn good job.
Right.
But if you want sheer stupidity and to laugh a little bit, and you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons type movies or those fantasy type movies, I wish they would do one of these movies for just each genre.
Yeah.
Because the movie's got a serious story and everything to it. It's just, I can't explain it any more than that. It is what
cool.
it is. You should watch it.
That's cool.
Do that. I haven't seen it. I know the movie. I haven't seen it. But yeah, I know that movie is coming out. Or is it out?
I didn't think it was out yet, but it might be. Might have missed the release.
Yeah, it's called Dudes and Dragons. And it's kind of dumb. If it's not out, it's coming out this year, yeah?
Yeah, it's definitely coming out this year. Let me see what the release date. Movie March 3rd.
Okay, so it's still in the first quarter. That's not a couple months away. Heck yeah. I don't know. Probably. I don't know if I'll go watch it in theaters or not.
Right?
Don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to afford to go watch it in the theater or not.
I understand that. The popcorn alone is like $10 now. $12, something like that. I don't even know when the last time I was in a theater was. Look back up.
Welcome back to it. The last time I went, I watched The Northman.
Yeah.
Which I really like. I like the theater. I like cinema.
Yeah.
I like the movie experience. I haven't got to see a whole lot. I've seen a lot of movies in the theater over my life, and there's just, I don't know, that whole experience for me is ramen, from steak to ramen. Are you just throwing all your money on one day? I mean,
The
crap
Bumblebee
about that.
movie. I don't blame you.
I'm gonna get crap about that because I was making fun of ramen or something. Mm,
It's been a
Uh,
while for me.
oh yes, yes, yes. I remember that movie, Beast.
If I had stupid money, I would have an in-home theater. That's the thing I would
Yeah,
have.
yeah. Well, I'd go to the theater more probably.
Yeah, that's true.
I afford it.
That's true.
But something about the atmosphere, I really like it, but yeah, it's not always feasible.
Right.
So on that note, how has your week been, Trey?
Well, my week's been pretty good. We played on Monday yesterday. Played some Lotro
Yeah.
and had a lot of fun there. And then I got excited because I realized that I had a reputation booster in my bank. And so I was like, I'm gonna go grind a little bit of Lotro today, and I'm gonna try and get my reputation up in Rivendell. And I was like, well, let me look it up and see what level I need to be to go buy this. And that's when I found out it's not an elk, it's a horse. But I still want it because it's a special horse, and I'm already almost there.
You,
So
yeah, I don't think the Yule Festival is not still going.
No, it's not. I could have got an elk there.
Yeah, there'll be. We'll get you one. We will get you one.
There'll be more chances.
Yeah.
But I'm
somewhere.
still gonna get that specialty horse. I'm still doing it.
Very good. Very good.
It's faster than my current horse, though. Nothing going to see you missed it. Just, it costs money to go to the theater.
Oh yeah, stuff coming out of the theater and whether it's affordable to go to the theater or not. I was talking about.
But still loving Lotro. Started playing Guild Wars 2 again. Goaty Crunch is out of the way. We're not doing it this year. Reminding everybody that now. Go watch that video if you don't believe me. But back on Guild Wars 2, loving that. Working my way through the story little bits at a time. And then I started working on a project again by playing some more Elden Ring. Hopefully we'll be trying to record some audio for that project after the podcast. I can start cutting that together.
Okay.
But now we're back on the content train, as it were, of Gundam XCOM went up today. Or yesterday? It was today. Today. Gundam XCOM went up today.
Went up today.
And, that Elden Ring video will be coming soon, hopefully. And then I started a series on Dwarf Fortress, where I try to learn how to play Dwarf Fortress. And I'm not going to say that the first episode ended terribly. I might have flooded all of my food supplies.
Okay. Probably not the best idea.
Left all my people unable to go get food or anything else.
Stop.
But, I'll learn that game. I'll learn the intricacies of that game as we go. So, it's gonna keep going. And then lastly, I've still been playing Triangle Strategy. I can't spell apparently. Because I'm trying to work my way back through those games that are on my top 10 games I missed, or top 10 games I didn't finish 2022. I still want to make reviews for some of those, so,
I'm doing it.
I'm enjoying Triangle Strategy, though. It's a really fun game. And because I'm now replaying it on Steam because it went on a pretty deep sale, and I never actually owned it on Switch, I was just playing the free demo, I can just skip all the dialogue that I've already seen and go straight to the choices, and I can choose to make different choices if I want to and see the outcomes of those. So, pretty cool.
Yes. Well, I'm glad.
I did get the update. Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Go Wars 2.
But no, it's still stuff coming out for that. I have a side project. I guess side project's not the right way to phrase it because that makes it sound like I'm working for a different channel. But I have like a lot of work over time going into a Divinity project that I want to make a video on. But I mentioned that, I guess, probably 3 months ago. That's still going to take, it might not even come out this year. So just, keep that in mind. That game is huge, as it turns out.
Okay.
That game is huge. So, all right. Well, with weeks out of the way, I believe it's time for some Gundam.
Yeah, we started Double Zeta.
Hmm?
This one. The I think it might. It has. I feel like it has a more solid start than Zeta.
Okay. That's going to make a lot of people mad, but I actually do agree with you.
Yeah. Yes. We went through 6 episodes. So there's still in the storyline kind of like a like you're feeling it out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there is Camille's in the hospital.
Mhm.
He's, as far as you know, he's out
Right.
of it. You're getting these new characters kind of introduced.
Yeah.
I guess because we just got through with Zeta,
Mhm.
and this is like, okay, just right here after it.
Yeah. Starts in, I would say it's not even been 3 days since the end of Zeta.
Yeah. But go through that. Maybe that's even the new character. It still has I still have a strong feeling of familiarity with it, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, these are new characters, but I know all these characters.
Right.
And I know what they've just been through, and it hasn't been long since they went through all that.
Right.
You know, friends were lost. You know, people they cared about were lost. And all that. I'm looking forward to where it's going to head. I haven't quite figured out what they're going to do with the main kid.
Judo.
Yes, Judo.
Judo Ashita.
Yeah. I can tell he's going to be a focal point at this, and either Bright really does see something in him, or maybe he's just having too much nostalgia. After everything he's been through, I don't know. But I don't know. I like the character set up. Like I said, there feels something consistent here. Like, okay, this makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Camille was just so self-centered jerk at the beginning of it. Maybe I'm just comparing it to that. I'll throw it off. I don't know.
And Judo's a very different person than Camille is.
Yeah.
He's much more laid back. He's much more, go with the flow. As long as I'm making money, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there's, I guess maybe, I won't say standard stuff, but there's stuff in there. Like, he's got a connection. Like, the girl he's calling his sister is not just a weird time. I'm trying. I'm trying. He, he's actually got a connection there.
Right. And he's got friends already.
Yeah, that was something I didn't. It was like it didn't hit me until I had the difference with Camille. Mm-hmm. Like, this he's got people around him that care.
Right.
And he legitimately cares for them.
Right. I think Double Zeta, and I'm going to go on record here, and this is going to get me suspended if I'm going to hand in my Gundam license. Watching these first 6 episodes of Double Zeta has reminded me Double Zeta is nowhere near as bad as people give it credit for. Okay, it has its problems, and we're going to get to them. And you see them a little bit in these first couple episodes already. Yazan is treated as kind of a joke for most of the episode. Yeah. Most of the run, except for moments when he absolutely is still just Yazan.
Yeah, that was weird.
The tone's all over the place.
Yeah.
But there's also like a lot of heart in these first couple episodes. The interactions between Fa and L and Lena are really good. The interactions between Captain Bright and Eno and Bicha and Mondo are all really good. There's that wonderful moment where Captain Bright's like, well, you'll have to go check in with your parents. And Mondo goes, my parents are dead, so, I mean, I can just work. It's like, yeah, that's the life this kid has been leading. He's been making his own decision for years, you know? Yeah, it gets a lot better in the second half, King. It really does. But there is some good stuff in that first half that unfortunately people just throw away because the silliness.
It's almost, and it's not putting it down anyway. It's almost the Annie story, right? Yeah. At the beginning of this one.
Yeah.
Because what's
these war orphans.
Yeah. What's going to be available to him. So I don't know. We're going to keep watching it. I have 6 more episodes Thursday to watch. Try to get through those. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I like the start of it so far.
Yeah. So that'll be episodes 7 through 11. Anybody that wants to keep going. Eventually, we will get back to like a standard numbers to numbers that people would normally group together in a discussion. But the first episode was mostly clip reel, reminding you what's happened before. So it kind of threw off the count. But
yeah.
Yeah, Double Zeta. It's actually, surprisingly, nowhere near as bad as I remembered. And I really enjoyed those first 5 episodes. We got to talk real quick. I got to ask you, what do you think about Mashimir Cello?
He's a little over the top, right?
Come on, Sama.
He's a little over the top. Not bad. I'll need to see if he can back up that pompousness.
Right.
Because like with like Char and Sirocco, they back up their pomp, and I don't know. I don't know if he can.
Just that moment when he says, "Oh, the Zeta is protecting that house. It's so honorable."
Yeah. Well, see, that was the thing. He got everything wrong. Everything he said in the fight was wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think he's any kind of type. I don't know.
Oh, I love Mashimir. He's something. All right. Well, we will move into reviews then.
All right.
We just have one today, and this one flew under the radar, but we need to talk about it today. Because we did miss it. Let's talk about Sports Story.
Okay.
Now, if you'll remember, I had mentioned this game a few months ago and said that we would come back to it when it got more reviews. It hasn't.
It hasn't?
It has not gotten more reviews. And this has been over 3 weeks now. I'm sorry about that, Dark. We did talk about Blacktail reviews 2 weeks ago, I believe. So there is no recommended score here because there weren't enough reviews to like gather a recommended score. But trust me when I say that we have to talk about it today for reasons. So, we do have an average score, and Sports Story is made by the same team that made Golf Story, which was a big hit.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
73.
I feel like I'm poisoning the well a little bit by saying that it doesn't have enough to get a recommended score, but
I'm going to go 73. Give it and that's the benefit of the doubt score.
Okay.
0. 0 is pretty harsh. 65.
Romance game? The score is 53.
Oh, I got the 3 right. I got the 3 right.
There's only 3 reviews, so I feel like I'll just read all 3 of them for you.
Okay.
Cog Connected says Sports Story pales in comparison to its predecessor. The plot fails to capture the whimsy which engulfs the original. While I understand Sidebar Games' decision to go large with its narrative, in doing so it removes the simplicity which makes Golf Story so unforgettable. Although it expands its gameplay with a number of new sporting activities, success of these varies. Combining this with the volume of performance issues and bugs means this swing is a whiff rather than a hit.
Okay.
We will not be doing a recommended score because there is not one to do.
Right.
Nintendo Life.
I think they just wanted to get some sports metaphors in.
I think so. Nintendo Life says, compared to the unexpected highlight that was Golf Story, Sports Story is damningly mediocre. Although the writing is as good as ever and the visuals have received a nice upgrade, the performance issues, tedious fetch quests, and occasionally confusing gameplay all hold this one back quite a bit. Despite its shortcomings, there's certainly still an enjoyable game on offer here, but you'll have to decide for yourself whether it's worth the negatives, especially given that the Switch eShop is lousy with great games these days, which is a weird phrase that I still don't like. I feel like when you're lousy with something, that means it's a problem, but, either way.
Yeah.
If you loved the original, you'll likely find Sports Story to be a fun enough follow-up, but there's no denying that it feels quite a letdown after years of waiting. Assuming Sidebar can sort out the worst of the technical issues, we'd give Sports Story a light recommendation to anyone looking for a quirky take on a sports RPG, but this one doesn't deserve a spot at the top of your list.
So nobody really liked it out of those three, what I'm taking.
Oh, we haven't got the third one yet. Third one is God is a Geek.
Oh, yeah, that was Nintendo Live, right?
Who said, yeah. Right. They say, Sports Story is a huge disappointment with a ton of technical issues, a lack of tutorials, and unenjoyable new sports, making it one to avoid.
Short and sweet, huh?
Yep. So just log that away in the back of your mind, chat. Hold on to that. It's going to come up later.
All right.
That's reviews for this week. In way of announcements, we have a couple quick little ones here that are kind of cool. Fate Samurai Remnant was announced.
Okay.
If you ever want to do a quiz on the Fate series, I will fail it because I have only seen one entry in the Fate series. Fate Stay Night is something I'm very aware of. I've seen the show. I've played the visual novel. I like Fate Stay Night a lot. That's where my understanding of the Fate franchise stopped. I got out instead of getting in.
Fair enough.
There's like Fate Extella, Fate Apocrypha, Fate Zero, Sports Story 2. No, we're going to talk about Sports Story again later. Just there are so many Fate games. This one, though, is a Fate samurai game made by Tecmo Koei, which seems like it might play like a Neo style.
Okay.
So that could be really cool. The Fate series is all based around the idea of like summoning these heroes from history and mythology. And each one of them fulfills a certain class. And so like it could be really cool to have a game like that. But
yeah.
Saber's cool. She is King Arthur.
Well.
But no, there's a lot of Fate stuff, and you can play Fate Grand Order on phones if you want to play a gacha that's definitely going to eat your money. I downloaded it, played it for about 15 minutes, and was like, nah, I think I'm good, thanks. And I'm the gacha guy, and I backed out.
Yeah.
So, like, just saying.
Well,
however,
that's the important part, Dark, right?
Fate Stay Night has a really cool twist to it that I really like. And that's where I am the bone of my sword comes from, is Fate Stay Night. So,
okay.
There are some good things that have come from Fate. Mostly, I'm just sad that Fate killed Tsukihime. Because Type Moon doesn't need to make Tsukihime anymore because they have Fate. Just throw you more Gunpla. No! I will buy my own plastic crack, thank you. This next one's a little weird. Voltes 5 Legacy has been announced. So we had heard that they were going to be making a Voltes 5 movie. Voltes 5 being based on Chodinji hero Voltes 5 from far long ago. Unlimited Blade Works Heaven's Feel. I've heard good things about that. Voltes 5 is really cool. It's in the same trio with like Combattler V for Super Robot Anime. This is a strange project. So this is going to be a Filipino TV show
Okay.
that it's got the rights, it seems, to use the likeness of Voltes 5, but it's going to have their own actors. It's going to be on free TV, which I'll talk about in just a second, for the Philippines, and through GMA Network, and will have double the number of episodes of the original show, which might worry you initially and go, well, hey, if they're retelling that story, which is what this is supposed to be, why do they need double the episodes? However, Filipino free TV has an incredible number of commercials for every episode, to the point where it doubles most episode lengths.
Oh.
So
Okay.
realistically, it's probably just going to be the original story again, because that's how they do it. So there's been no word yet as to whether or not this is going to get translation or subbed or anything like that. It's just going to be in tag along. But it seems cool. I love Voltes 5. Like, Voltes 5 is a great show on its own. It's very dark, but it's a great show. So we'll see how they do. The Gundam live action movie? Yeah, it's probably not happening.
It's been a lot longer than 4 years.
Yeah, it's probably not happening.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
It's been since 2008.
Yeah. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Wanted to make that.
But just, if you're looking for a good old Super Robot show to watch, it's very good. So you should go check it out. The last announcement we have, is Sam and Max: The Devil's Playhouse Remastered.
Okay.
That was announced.
Did Sam and Max need a remastering?
No, I mean it looks and plays fine as it was, but Yeah, but I don't think it's coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's stuck in
Nice.
development hell.
Be nice. Think if there is a studio that's doing it, they could get good visuals for it. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't trust how they're going to treat Amuro and Char, to be honest.
Yeah, they're probably not going to have them.
Right. No, this is a remake of one of the older Sam and Max point and click games. Yeah. Again, the original looks and plays fine, but can be hard to get your hands on. You really got to go through GOG. So maybe this is just an attempt to bring it to other platforms. I feel like this is just an attempt to make some extra cash on the Sam and Max name, but
Yeah.
Either way, that got
That's been a
announced.
while.
So
Okay.
now we'll move into the news, and you may say, "But Trey, we're just only now like an hour into the podcast. We're getting into news. The podcast is going to be over too soon." Turn Amuro into The Rock and Char into Kevin. Hit me. Even my own father didn't hit me. Then he does that wink at the camera.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
they have
who else?
remastered the other two. That's true.
Okay.
Did you just? I came to laugh at you over there.
Yes, I came to laugh at you. Isn't that what you wanted to hear?
I can't imagine Kevin Hart doing a Char. I just can't. So, if you're worried the podcast is going to be over too soon, don't worry. We have so much news to talk about, and some of it are going to be real discussions here. So, let's start with YouTube's new policy changes.
Okay. What are they doing now?
So, they actually made these changes in November, but didn't tell anybody. They didn't send out emails to creators. They just changed their policies and expected, I guess, everybody to go manually check the policies every month to see if they've changed.
Yeah,
Which we used to have to do. So, like,
You're supposed to.
yeah, Dark, about that. It's only ever podcasts that you're on that get limited ads, as it turns out. Just those that you're in the chat. Don't know why that is. So the new rules are adult content
Okay.
Thumbnails, titles, and videos containing adult links, obscene language, adult material, and sexually gratifying acts may not receive ad revenue. Policy enforcement around classical arts depicting sexual activities, sensual dancing, and sexual education will remain unchanged and may receive ad revenue.
Okay.
Content showing this violence, content showing dead bodies without context,
Okay.
game violence directed at a real named person,
Okay.
or
well, yeah.
acts that created to intentionally shock and disgust, and videos showing an implied moment of death will not receive ad revenue. Standard gameplay where gory injuries are present after the first 8 seconds, non-graphic tragedies and their aftermath, or police seizures are a part of law enforcement can receive ad revenue. So if you're playing a video game and it's like Doom or something, you need to bring back the 2002 30-second YouTube intro videos that everybody had. That everybody's going to have to sit through now, just so people can have monetized content.
Yeah.
And
Well,
this
see,
may not
okay,
sound too bad right now, but there's so much more.
Well, even what you said on a surface level, you can be like, yeah, well, okay, that sounds good, and yeah, of course I agree with some of it. But when you say things like, okay, the first thing, like adult content, well, what
Yeah.
are you counting as that?
Right.
You know, you haven't defined that out. You know, there's stuff that that shouldn't be on there. That's fair, or you
Yeah.
should have some warning before it should be on
Definitely shouldn't have a dead body in the thumbnail. That makes sense to me.
there. Yeah.
But
But it's like, what are you counting?
harmful or dangerous acts. Dangerous acts or stunts where minors or participants or victims may not receive ad revenue. I get that. They already were trying to skirt around COPPA. I get that, you know.
I
That's
try.
right. You gotta have him here.
I try.
Inappropriate language. All varieties of profanity are now treated equally, meaning they are not differentiated based on levels of severity. Also, we are not treating words such as hell and damn as profanity anymore. So all profanity is the same, except for these two that we decided are not profanity anymore, I guess. And before somebody says, Trey Cost, no. DAM is also pronounced the same way.
Yeah. I mean, if you're making, I'm not coming down on anybody where they want you, but if you're making stuff that's targeted for children, yeah,
Right.
it's
That's why
You
we have
may
an
not-
option when we upload a video to say we're not targeting children.
yeah, right, exactly. And look, if I want to find, let's say, live reports from Ukraine, you know, those are not going to be in very safe places, right?
Right.
And there's probably going to be some stuff I shouldn't see.
Right.
It's really weird how they want to kind of partition information. There is YouTube Kids, and I like it. That's they shouldn't. Maybe we should divide it out. Do they have to
Yeah.
call it YouTube Adults?
Right. Right.
But of course, that would have its a whole other connotation.
It would. This gets even weirder, though, when it comes to inappropriate language, because content where profanity is used after the first 8 seconds, which isn't even true anymore. It's actually 15. It's been checked by other YouTubers. They say it's 8. It's actually 15. After the first 8 seconds may receive ad revenue. However, if profanity is used in the first 8 seconds of the video, then it will not monetize.
Yeah. So the other thing, if yeah, because kids, you can't legally have an account.
Yep.
With YouTube.
Though you just tell
It's a
YouTube you're older and it believes you instantly.
Yeah.
There's one last thing here on the general rules, and then we have specific rules for video game content. The last thing on the general rules is recreational drugs and drug-related content. Drug use and consumption in gaming content may not receive ad revenue. So if you're playing Fallout, I guess code away. If you're playing Cyberpunk, I guess code away.
I guess. So if I wanted to check a video on, hey, what's the nightlife like in Amsterdam?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be. It's so weird.
Uh,
It's weird because it's like, okay, I understand what you're trying to do, but this is not gonna work.
yeah. Oh man, the content creators that just speedrun Hotline Miami, good luck.
Yeah.
Drug dealings or mention of drugs in gaming content may receive ad. But then we have specific rules for video games, gaming videos.
Okay.
Content that can receive ad revenue. Fully censored or abbreviated profanities in the title, thumbnail, and video. For example, using WTF in the title instead, your video can be monetized.
It's a whole other discussion for me. It means the same thing.
Yep.
It means if I do this at you, and I don't mean that.
Right.
But I'm meaning something else. I mean the same thing.
Right.
Just because I'm trying to be not using the bad finger. That's
Right.
kind of a weird.
I agree. I agree.
That's a bigger discussion. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Also, what the asterisks will allow you to get monetized as well. Words acceptable for television networks, such as the two we used earlier.
Okay.
Infrequent use of profanity, such as when used a few times in a paragraph, not a focal subject of the video. What does a few times mean? That's not specified, but, hey, if you just don't make it a focal point of the video, I could argue it's not a focal point of any video because that's not what the video is about, unless the video specifically, here's how you say these curse words in another language. But
yeah.
And then, of course, hateful slurs, and they give the example of, like, the N-word will be treated under the hateful and derogatory content policy and will not receive ad revenue. They say any profanity used outside the video after 15 seconds, you will still be able to get monetized unless it's the focal point of the video. But again, how do they,
Yeah.
Then, of course, profanity used within music or stand-up comedy video content is allowed.
Well, okay. I'm happy for that because
I'm glad it's allowed too. I just
music and stand-up. Yeah, music and stand-up is very important.
Why the double standard?
Yeah.
If you have these, you may have limited monetization. You can still make money, but you won't make as much. Profanities including partial censorship or misspellings in the title. Like if you purposefully misspell a profanity, it will still count as limited revenue. Profanities used frequently throughout a video, such as the F word used repeatedly in the entire video. How much counts as repeatedly, YouTube? Profanities used multiple times within the first 8 to 15 seconds. You can maybe still get monetized. And then you won't receive any at all. Someone doing a voiceover in a game where the F word is mentioned in the first 4 seconds of the video or the first 7 seconds of the video if it's a majority of the video. I don't understand why the distinction there, but just,
Yeah. I don't get paid by music companies. I put out a bunch of music.
Now that's the language section of it. We still have adult content in video games.
Yeah.
In these new policies. I agree with you, Dark.
Yeah.
You can earn ad revenue if you have non-gratifying sexual topics, such as a plot about a visit to a gynecologist. YouTube, what video game has a plot like that? What?
Who is that falling as sexual content for?
Right. Look, the Patreon is in the rolling, scrolling bar at the bottom. Just a reminder. Regular romantic scenes, such as an affectionate kiss between characters, you can still make money if you have that in your game. In your gameplay. Usage of sexual jokes and innuendos, such as mimicking sex acts in a humorous way using hands that does not use vulgar or obscene terms. All of that is good. I should do a Patreon command. That's a good idea, King. Nudity fully censored naked bodies where features are indiscernible. Sorry about that sneeze. Non-arousing portrayal of limited clothing in an appropriate setting, such as a pool, game characters swimming in bikinis as part of the story. It doesn't count if they're swimming in bikinis, but they're not a part of the story. So you better stay away from the beach in GTA, I guess.
So, like, pretty much every beer commercial they've put out, they can't put on your YouTube anymore.
Yeah. Well, this is stuff you can still make money on. This is the stuff you can still have.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Non-focal, fully censored nudity, such as fully censored naked body parts. And specifically the question of, like, how far does kissing go before it gets demonetized? And the answer was basically, without referencing to intercourse, and as long as it doesn't lead to visible intercourse, it should be okay.
Okay.
Now,
it's not when they start passing second base. Their policies based off the lyrics of "Paradise by the Dashboard Lights."
Sort of, yeah.
This part of the song.
Yeah, that's true. Limited revenue, sensual dancing such as twerking. Now remember, this is video game rules. Regular twerking is fine. That wasn't covered in video games. If you have twerking in video games, with minimal clothing in a professional setting like a dance studio or live events in your gameplay, that'll get you limited revenue. And then you'll get no revenue if there are visible sexual acts or sexual body fluids. YouTube, your own rules say that gets you banned. Why do you need to specify that? Your own rules say that's a ban.
Yeah.
A game story that features sex-related entertainment, such as strip clubs, as a part of the plot. So, sorry, GTA streamers. Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry. You can't show any of that stuff. Depictions or discussions of fetishes in games, no money. What about fetishes as in, like, the little totems? Is Diablo going to be out? Yeah, Saints Row as well. That's true.
That's a
a
different use of the word.
That's true. Explicit and vulgar titles or thumbnails such as hot sex or jerk off compilation. YouTube, your own rules say that gets you banned.
Damn.
What are we doing here?
There goes my next two videos.
Misleading metadata, such as a title promising a sexual act even if the video doesn't contain it. Again, that's in your rules. Highly sexualized titles or thumbnails, such as 18 plus or adults only. Sexual video games targeting adults or sexualizing video game characters with the intent to arouse or gratify the audience. Usage of obscene language, including vulgar terms such as the C word. Sorry to Australian people that don't use that word as a profanity and just use it as a word. You can't now. That's the thing. It's not. It's just trying to comply with advertiser rules. But the advertiser rules don't even follow these. They're just like tripling down of, we got to make sure that we're careful so that we don't have more lost money this next year, I guess. Sex toys or similar pleasure enhancement products in the game. So again, Saints Row, dildo bat, guess you're out. Implied sex acts such as movements under blankets. So Ride to Hell Retribution, you're out. Descriptive sexual topics referencing gameplay, such as masturbation. This is way more than I ever wanted to say in a podcast. I just want to make that very clear. These are words I don't like just using here, but I have to tell you what they said. Now we get into violence. You can still earn ad revenue. This is the big one for video games, right? You can still earn ad revenue if your game features non-graphic gameplay. Yeah, you got to be careful with your Manscaped sponsors now. Hyperdimension Neptune, yeah, got to be careful with that one. Graphic scenes such as a gory attack on a person outside the first 15 seconds, you can still make money on it. Censored clips of graphic violence, such as the moment of a kill or blurred out beheading, still make money on that. Normal gameplay, which doesn't constitute graphic violence, so literally any other game that doesn't have that. and violence that is unrealistic, playful, and generally acceptable for all ages, such as family-friendly video games depicting running from monsters.
Oy.
I wouldn't say 90%. No. That might be a bit of an over-exaggeration. But yeah, this is the one that I think is going to affect a lot more games of what counts as graphic violence.
Yeah.
Darktide? Probably. Yeah, right? Like, Darktide makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty graphic. You should probably have a stinger in there for the first 15 seconds so you don't have to worry about it. But, like,
a remake of Resident Evil 4 coming out, is that going to be off limits?
Probably. You're going to want to have a stinger for the first 15 minutes so you can make sure that you make money on that. Or like an intro. Every video is going to have an intro now where it's the YouTuber talking to the screen just to be able to get out of it, you know? Yeah, good thing it doesn't have Slaanesh.
Again, like, after 30 seconds of talking, let's get into the video.
Yeah.
Like,
but what about Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
Would that count as graphic? You don't really get to see the blood, but, you know, there's big monsters. They also go into, like, this is the stuff that might get limited. Is graphic game violence in the thumbnail or in the first 8 to 15 seconds of the video? I'm sorry. And their definition here is it'll include brutal killings or severe injuries focusing on bodily fluids and parts such as beheadings and dismemberment.
This is the Mortal Kombat argument again.
So the gore is okay as long as it's not in the thumbnail or in the first 15 seconds of the video.
Yeah.
After that, it's fine, which is what makes it so. My guess is that they're trying to be like, yeah, no, if a kid clicks on a video this way, they won't see something they shouldn't see.
Yeah.
It's like, well, 15 seconds is not long enough if that's your intention. And I'm not saying extend it. I'm just saying there are better ways to do that.
Yeah. All right.
Now, these are the ones that won't get any ad revenue. Focus on gameplay manufactured to create a shocking experience. Examples include aggregating non-player characters for mass killings. But again, does that count like farms in video games where you're farming mobs? Like in Minecraft, when you leave a trap down so that your zombies and stuff fall into lava, does that count?
I don't know if that counts towards or not.
I don't know, King. I don't know. Graphic game violence on the thumbnail in the first 7 seconds of the video, which again, they say 7 here, but it's 15. It's been proven to be 15. Video gameplay showing sexual violence, such as sexually abusing a character where the agony can be observed. Video gameplay showing violence motivated by hate or violence targeting protected groups, such as killing a specific religious group with hate sentiment. Video gameplay showing graphic torture. Video gameplay showing graphic violence directed at minors, such as hitting a minor. Video gameplay showing graphic violence directed at real name persons, such as killing a character named after a public figure. But again, all of this is just within that first chunk. And then finally, controversial issues. You can still make money on your videos if they have brief or fleeting references to any of the topics or events listed in the no ads column, which is such as the words suicide, which got this video demonetized, but it was already demonetized anyway, so it's fine. You can still earn limited if you have graphic depictions of controversial issues in the thumbnail, or dramatized or artistic depictions of controversial issues that are not highly graphic, such as someone jumping off a bridge in a game scene, but the dead body graphic isn't being shown. And the content will earn no ad revenue if it has graphic depictions or detailed descriptions of controversial issues, and the list they give is child abuse, pedophilia, child marriage, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, self-harm, suicide, eating disorders, and domestic abuse. And that's the list. And you may say, but Trey, how much is this really bothering people? How much is it affecting people? Well, there's a YouTuber that has had most of his videos demonetized because of this. And he's called RT the Game, RT Gamer. And his is just like normal content. It's just regular gameplay stuff.
They came down real hard on China Uncensored.
Yeah.
Over the past few months too. it's, I see what you're trying to do, but that doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
And there's too much. There's an old saying, I probably won't get it right, but I think it's mostly true. And the any border for any country on the planet, that's pretty much been drawn with blood.
Yeah.
That counts all over the world.
Mhm.
And anytime you go, just throw a dart at a board and hit you hit a place with people, maybe not Antarctica.
Yeah.
But hit a place with people, and you go back and you're gonna find horror stories.
Yeah.
But you also gonna find amazing stories, like beautiful stories, restore faith in humanity stories,
Right.
You're gonna find both those things there. And you can't I don't know, you can't streamline that into this nice little tunnel that you think humanity is.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not. And this is where a lot of people get their news from, from YouTube and online stuff now. So there's probably another way to do this.
I agree.
and not it's just there's a lot of room for okay, we're going to make sure you can't make anything off this.
Right.
Just
real quick, we did have a posture check and a hydrate 32 minutes ago. Sorry about that. I could not see it while I was looking at the list. Hydrate now.
Not much left.
And just real quick on the eating disorder, it's a really weird thing to put in that list with sexual abuse and sexual assault, pedophilia, and then just eating disorders. I understand what they're trying to do, but it's a weird thing.
That isn't TikTok. Well, I'm kind of against that. Not that it should be, maybe not on everybody's recommended list, but there's people out there that on those topics that probably may need to have a discussion, may need to talk.
Yeah.
May need to get some people together to go, hey, we've got through this.
Just a quick heads up too on our content. It hasn't affected us really at all, except for some weird outlier videos. The Rainbow Six Siege Nier podcast highlight got grabbed, and I'm assuming that's because there's a picture in that of Siege Nier with a gun, but for the most part, our stuff is fine. And anytime that a podcast does get limited ads because of Dark, I normally just have, I'm not going to do it this time, but I normally just have YouTube go back over it manually and then they clear it because it's chat. Not going to do that this time because I don't want that person to get mad at me and start hitting a bunch of our videos. Like they did to RT the game after he let them know that, hey, a bunch of my stuff's demonetized. They did a manual review and demonetized 40 more videos. So, yeah, I'm not asking for a manual review this week.
Okay.
It's a mess. Well, I wanted to hit you with the worst news first.
All right.
So that we could kind of go down a little bit and then maybe come back up. But this next bit of news is probably not going to make you much happier. Gundam Evolution is dying.
No.
And
no.
When you say, well, what do you mean? Trey, people still play it? It hit an all-time low of 985 players on Steam this week. Which is, it's gonna do a little bit of this. Its peak over the last 30 days has been 2,100 or 2,773.
Okay.
This is sorry about that. It's a pretty big drop because in October it was still averaging about 20,000 players. And in September, it was still averaging 55,000 players.
Yeah, so it's dropped off pretty quick.
Yeah, it has not been out long. And I think the reason it's dropping off is because, like, the progression is really limited and is gated around the season pass. And it's not, hey, we're going to add new suits soon. So they're adding like 1 or 2 new suits, and then you have to buy them. And so there's just not really much reason for people to keep playing it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, as King's brought up, GBO2 is bringing out a new unit every week, and Gundam Evolution's been out for 4 months and has only added 2 units. It's not a MOBA though. It is a hero shooter in a weird way. And unfortunately, no, we can't get all the bad news out at the start because I had to save the worst story, second to worst story, for the end. Because if we did it all like this, we would all just give up. We would all just have no reason to continue on.
All right.
But that's where Gundam Evolution is. So next up, Yoko Taro is teasing a new game.
Does it have anything to do with the images that Hideo Kojima?
I wish it did. No, it is an image of a little bunny guy, it seems like. I've pulled it on screen now. I'm about to send it to you. You can see it. And it just has like a shadowy figure and it says 2023. This is probably a new one in his series of the what are they called? The Isle of Adventure games he's been doing? The card games? Probably
Okay.
a new one of those, but I don't know that for sure. So we'll see.
Either. Interesting. All right.
Bad news and good news. There have been some good Gundam games. Not a lot of them. Not a lot of them by far. And next up, I believe this is your first redacted on here.
Yes.
We're going to talk about an old friend, and this is going to make everybody happy again.
Okay.
Yuji Naka has been indicted. He's been arrested and indicted. He's been arrested again. It's a third time. And indicted for a third instance of insider trading. And this one was Final Fantasy VII, The First Soldier, the mobile game.
Gosh.
He is now, this is the creator of Balan Wonderworld, the creator of Sonic in a lot of ways, that Sega has like pushed away. They don't want him anymore. He has now brought his grand total of insider trading up to $834,000.
Wow. I guess he can't. He's got to. He's ran the scam before.
So, you know, he kept thinking he could get away with it. I do love to, I have the article up from VGC, and they have, you know how they have like an embedded video that'll play?
Yeah.
It's just constantly embedding Dragon Quest treasures, which I know has to be on purpose because that's another game that he insider traded on. So, you know, yeah, no, he got it. It's very clear at this point. This is not his first time doing this. He's been doing this for a while and getting away with it. But Square Enix has said that we have been fully cooperating with requests from the Securities and Exchange Surveillance Commission. As the investigation by the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office is underway, we will continue to fully cooperate with the investigation. We deeply regret the great concern this has caused to all concerned. We have dealt with this incident strictly, including internal disciplinary actions taken against the suspected employees. Because remember, there were 2 other people that were also in on it with him. The true treasure was the money he made off it. So,
Probably quite a few.
I'm sure.
Probably quite a few.
Mr. Wonderworld himself.
He just got caught.
Now,
Boy.
this next one is unfortunately another big like dive.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring you back up from this dive in a second. But remember earlier we talked about Sports Story.
Yes. Yes.
Well, the dev room has been found. You have to glitch to get to the dev room.
Yeah.
And it's pretty bad. The dev room has them talking about all the terrible things that happened in the course of making this game. Because again, you have to hack to get into it. So they knew they wouldn't get caught. So I'm gonna mute the video here, and I'm gonna read off a couple of these for you. Let me roll it back here. You get welcome to the dev room. And then they say they're currently on an enforced break.
Okay.
And then somebody says, you might say that, we've had some struggles. And then another dev in the dev room replies, you might also say somebody kept requesting new features and my original vision no longer exists and the game is just a shell of what it should have been.
Oh.
You go to the story guy, who goes on to talk about how he's had to rewrite the story 6 times. He's not even sure there should be a story. Maybe we should just throw it all away at this point. We're not going to finish it in time. To which another person says, no, we have to have a story. I've made all these character models. It all seems to push for lots of crunch. Lots of crunch. And poor management is what it seems like. Because you have one person in the dev room that's going, I think the character should be like this, but upper management wants them like this. So, not that I could tell. Nothing that I could tell that was like that, thankfully. But these people still were ground to dust, basically, to make this game. And from what it seems like, when we talked about earlier with the reviews of, they have a bunch of new sports added in that all had to be coded, that doesn't seem like any of that was originally planned to be in the game. So, yeah.
Well, so I guess there's better hacks that have been found in games for sure.
Yep. So, like I said, I will bring you back up from that negative, but I felt like we needed to talk about that because it's a shame that they had to get their story out this way.
Well, it's just when companies want to make money, the ground floor is gonna hurt the worst.
Yeah,
that's where they're gonna get rid of people. That's where they're gonna crunch people. That's where they're gonna try to get the most for their buck.
All right, so this next one, I have to eat crow. Cat, I have to eat crow and say in front of you that I trusted what I was told. I spoke to a couple different people last week trying to get information about the Destiny 2 rumors, and I trusted people that were well trusted in the community as data miners, and I got to eat crow. I was wrong. They were just rumors, like we talked about, but it's not rumors because they found a file and maybe it'll happen. They created the file and trolled everybody. These trusted data miners in the community decided that it would be a funny joke to try and pretend that Bungie was trying to force a subscription on people for content, which doesn't feel to me like it was supposed to be a joke. It feels to me like somebody got mad at Bungie and was like, we'll ruin their reputation, sure. But
then again, for the new gaming models, it really doesn't sound that far off, though.
No, it doesn't. And that's exactly what it is, Dark. They just shot their own reputation in the foot. Nobody's going to trust them ever again.
Yeah.
And these were like the data miners. And they ended it off. They ended off their apology, which wasn't apologizing, by saying that you all should have known better anyway. We can't data mine stuff that's, 2 weeks in advance. Like, what does that even mean? You weren't saying it was 2 weeks in advance. You were saying it was already in the game files.
Yeah.
So,
and no, people don't know. You've got if you can do that, you have a skill that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
So they're not going to get that.
Exactly, Dark. If I can learn to data mine, people will just believe me, I guess. And that's the thing. These guys were like trusted data miners in the community. People believed them without having to look anything up because they were right so many times. And they just decided, yeah, we'll do a little trolling, I guess. Ruin our reputation, get kicked out of the community. Why not?
Goodness. Oh.
So again, I will apologize to you, chat, because I guess I should have done more research. I don't know how I would have known they were lying any more than the Destiny 2 community did, but I still should have done more. So I apologize.
Then you can do. You know, they are no longer a trusted source.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. Win stupid prizes.
Yep.
Mm.
So I do have some good news to give you before we take another dive and then come back up for the last bit of news.
Okay.
ZeniMax QA testers have unionized.
Okay.
So it's just a little thing, but they tried to unionize a while back. I appreciate that, Dark. I really do. That's understandable, King, for sure. They tried to unionize a while back, and ZeniMax said no. ZeniMax said you unionize, you'll get fired. ZeniMax no longer owns ZeniMax anymore, though, because as you might remember, Microsoft owns them now.
Yeah.
And Microsoft was like, yeah, go for it, man. And I'm not even joking. There's a clip here from Jason Schreier's deal about it, the 300 QA workers, where his quote is, quality assurance workers at Microsoft's ZeniMax Studios established company's first union with Communication Workers of America, become the largest certified video game studio in the U.S. A supermajority of quality assurance workers at Microsoft's ZeniMax Studios have indicated they wish to join ZeniMax Workers United CWA, either by signing a union authorization card or voting via online portal. In accordance with its stated labor principles, Microsoft has recognized the union.
Okay.
So just a little like, hey, you know, they finally got what they were trying to do. Hopefully their jobs will be protected better now. They must have believed it would in the first place to try it.
Right.
And Microsoft was like, yeah, you go for it, man. You do you, I guess. And that's not how they've been treated the last 3 companies that owned them. So I know people say too often that we hate on Sony and we're Microsoft shills. We've done plenty of discussions on the problems Microsoft is doing too. But this is a good move as far as I'm concerned from Microsoft. I don't know if it's a good move, unionized or not. I don't know what the details of the unionization are. I don't know what the union agreements are. All I know is they tried to do it before and now they get to do it.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what they say, King. Man, this last part is going to take some explaining, okay? Let's talk about CryptoZoo and Logan Paul.
Okay.
It's ad time. I'm going to take a drink real quick. I firmly agree. All QA testers and all devs should probably get paid better than they get paid. And should probably not have to crunch. So, that is the plan, Dark.
Okay.
Yeah, so before we talk about this, I need to read this off because Logan Paul's lawyers have been after people on this. Okay. I actually consulted with a real lawyer to get this. The following statements are opinion-based on the information that has been publicly presented and is not to be taken as fact. Nothing we say is intended to defame and is instead just statements of opinion as we report on a publicly viewable news story. Our opinions are our own.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
let's talk about CryptoZoo.
All right.
Now, Logan Paul, we don't talk about crypto stuff on this podcast very often, right?
No.
Logan Paul announced that he was making a crypto game. Yeah, for legal reasons, this is a joke. Logan Paul announced that he was making a crypto game called CryptoZoo. You would buy tokens that would be egg tokens, and the eggs would hatch and could become animals, and then the animals could be sold off, and they would be fusions of other animals so that you could buy more eggs. That was the plan for the game, and he kept telling everybody about how cool the game was and how excited he was. It was a game where you could make money. The game doesn't exist. The lead developer of this game is a man that I don't even know if I want to say his name because he's been going after people too. But it's a man that is well known in the gaming community to be a filthy liar who claims that he's an orphan despite going on talk shows with his mother, who tells people that he won the Super Bowl a couple years back for a team by hacking the scoreboard, and people believe him for some reason. It's not the Fable guy. No, it's not him. It's not Peter Molyneux. Yeah, it's dead set. Yeah, no. Look, if you want to get the whole story with all the names and everything, you look at CoffeeZilla. He's currently in legal battles with all of them. CoffeeZilla has a great 3-part series on it. But where this matters game-wise is the game did not get developed because he was not a developer, right? He's a programmer. He's not a developer. And so it's not the Donkey Kong guy either. It's not Billy Mitchell. And no, I understand. They got another developer to develop the game who was never paid, so he fled with the source code to Switzerland.
Guy?
I wish I was joking. He just never got paid. I don't know why. I don't know who was responsible for paying him. I'm not going to name names here and throw fingers at people, but that guy probably should have gotten paid for his work for 6 months.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the whole time they're not paying this developer that was brought in to handle the project, people are still able to buy tokens. And so people have spent millions of dollars at this point buying tokens because they trusted Logan Paul. The game is not being developed. And Logan Paul goes on a popular podcast and talks about how he's got this great new project. And the interviewer asked him, "Are you talking about CryptoZoo?" And he goes, "Nah, not that one. I got a new project." When the other one's not even done. Yeah, could probably finish that one first, but he won't. So where we're at right now is that CoffeeZilla has made a 3-part series on this. CoffeeZilla, well known for calling out crypto scams.
Yeah.
And notice when I say he's well known for calling out crypto scams, that is not me saying that Logan Paul's CryptoZoo is a scam. That is just me talking about how CoffeeZilla knows what he's talking about when it comes to CryptoZoo scams. Or, I mean, scams. Definitely just scams. So, where we're at right now is CoffeeZilla has tried to get responses from Logan Paul and has been turned down, ignored, blocked on Twitter. While Logan Paul has gone on to talk about how CoffeeZilla just won't respond to him when he tries to reach out to him. Even though anybody that's not blocked by Logan Paul can see CoffeeZilla's responding to him in the same thread. The money has not been paid. The game has not been made. You can still currently buy Zoo Token. And as far as I can tell, there is no plan or intention to finish this game. There's a whole lot more to this that includes Crypto King, the guy that tried to scam some YouTubers a while, and might have been trying to scam some YouTubers a while back with Pokemon cards.
Goodness.
And he's after Logan Paul right now, and they're fighting over all of it, but they were both involved with the project. This is definitely going to wind up going to court in some way, shape, or form, whether CoffeeZilla defending himself and then countersuing, or CoffeeZilla starting we don't know. But either way, I wanted to talk about this not just because it's a big news story, but also because please do not buy any of this Zoo Token. Please do not do this.
Yeah.
It's not going to get finished as far as I can tell. I'm not going to sit here and say that all crypto is a scam because I'm not versed enough in that to say. But this one probably is not going to ever get finished. Right now, I think the tokens are worth like 40 cents. And CoffeeZilla has like a whole section of one of his videos that is a bunch of people responding to Logan Paul, even though he won't ever listen to what they have to say probably, that bought into the project. that talk about how they bought something for their kids because their kids were excited for the hatching the eggs and getting animals. Also, I didn't even get into how they were promised that each one would be individual art made by an artist, and instead it's stock photos that have been blended together. Just
Oy.
it's a huge misstep. And the thing that gets me about all this is Logan Paul ruined his reputation once. And somehow, despite all belief, brought it back to where he was respected again by people. And then he pulls this. Well, yeah, I just meant like in totality, right? There is an exchange that Crypto King leaked out between him and Logan Paul that is basically just him going, come on, man, you're not this guy. You're not this guy that would just leave this unfinished. Come on now. And Logan Paul's response is, I believe it to be Logan Paul anyway. It's the number that Crypto King believed to be Logan Paul. Logan Paul's response is, oh, but I am that guy. Q in the arms of the angels, he said. So yeah. No, I mean, I agree. The Japan stuff alone was bad enough. But somehow, he was able to become respected again by people.
Yeah. Enough to where, hey, you've got something going.
Right.
As long as you don't do something stupid.
Right.
You'll be all right. And
he did.
Yeah. Oy.
So, that's where that's at right now. Yep, there's a lot more that he did too. Him and his brother both. But yeah, it's this is a mess. And this is not just like, hey, he did a thing and children like him. This is, hey, he's actively hurting people.
Yeah.
That trusted him. And I'm not saying you ever should have trusted him, but also like I get why you did. A big name like that attached to it, how can it fail? And yet. So. Let's bring this back up again from this that we're doing. And let's talk about our picks, our guesses for the Game Awards nominees for 2023.
Okay. How you want to do this? You want to give me the first topic? I got a list here.
Yeah.
You gave me a list of games coming out this year.
I know, Roxanne. I'm sorry. I didn't want it to be too negative at first and then too positive later because I felt like that would have people like not in a good mood for the positive, and I didn't want it to be too positive at first and then just dive down.
Destroy everybody.
So this was the final decision. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about boxing career or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, chat, we'd love for you to join in this with us. We have a list of a bunch of the games that are coming out. Of course, we went over that list last week as well. But I have the nominees, the categories, that is, from the Game Awards.
Yeah, categories.
We're going to be guessing what we think is probably going to get nominated for those categories and what we think is going to win that category.
Yeah.
Skipping the esports categories again. No offense to the esports teams. I don't keep up with esports enough to have names for you. The first one is most anticipated game.
Okay.
Now this one's tough because this one specifically is probably going to be something that gets pushed back this year to next year to be anticipated.
All right, hold on. Let me look at this. Because I got quite a list here.
I will copy the list into chat that I have if you want, chat.
So they can look over it?
Yeah. But you're probably going to want to copy it back yourself.
I've got an idea of what will get that.
Okay. There's the first part, chat, and unfortunately it does not keep It does not keep the spacing like it should. And I knew that it wouldn't. Because if I put the spacing, I wouldn't have been able to have all the games in there. There's the other half.
Okay. So,
And that's not even all the games coming out. That's just the big ones.
yeah. Out of this list, it's got to be Tears of the Kingdom, right?
I think so. It's supposed to come out pretty early this year. Like quarter one. Into quarter one, start of quarter two. But of all the games on the list, I think it's the one that has the highest chance of being pushed back.
Yeah. We're delaying this again.
Starfield is not set to come out this next year, King. It's not in the list of games expected to release this next year. So I did not include it. But
see, there's a lot of chatter around. Well, there was a lot of chatter around Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing the trailer they put out for it.
Hollow Knight Silksong, maybe?
Died. I don't know. I know for you, it's Armored Core.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that.
All right. Well, the next one is Best Adaptation. Now, this one, of course, would be for the movies that are coming out. I think that's probably going to just be Mario movie.
Well, you've got, when they count Star Wars Jedi Survivor underneath that?
Maybe the Nier anime as well. I just expect Mario to win.
Yeah. 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 That might be a safe bet.
Yeah. Next debut indie.
Oh.
Best debut indie title. And I think this one's probably going to Mina the Hollower. That's the one being made by Yacht Club, who made Shovel Knight. Okay. They're still a pretty small team, so they still count as indie. Unless something else comes out that just, like, knocks everybody's socks off.
Yeah. Zelda or Resident Evil 4. Yeah,
could be
the
RE4
remake.
make.
Resident Evil 4. I talked about that earlier.
Yep, could be RE4 make.
Yes. Mina the Hollower.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Content creator of the year is us, the full spectrum, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind.
It's a sweet.
Best multiplayer is next.
Oh.
This one might wind up having a surprise like Fire Emblem Engage, because that's got co-op now.
Yeah.
For Minecraft Legends.
Oh, wait, you got Starfield on my list.
Oh, do I? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it wasn't on here, but I do have it on here. Yeah. I made this list early this morning.
I got Starfield. I don't know.
They might just go Street Fighter 6 and just try to play it off. Diablo 4 is a good pick.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to count Final Fantasy 16 in that.
I wouldn't think so, but they might.
On that. Yeah. Not much on this list to give me that nothing jumps out at me for this multiplayer.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay. Best sports racing is going to be tough because none of the big games coming out are sports racing games.
Yeah. There'll be a couple this year.
Yeah. Best sim strategy. Again, unless they go strategy as in like Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Madden or something else. Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably going to wind up being what takes it, you know?
Yeah. And Madden will be out before the year's up.
Oh, yeah. Best family?
Oh. Pikmin 4?
Yeah, probably. It'll probably be Pikmin.
Off the list we're going off of.
That's good, Dark.
Yeah. Right on.
Unless they decide to just throw it to Zelda.
Yeah, maybe.
Best fighting, I think, is definitely going to be Street Fighter 6.
Out of the two, though we don't have the Tekken this year, do we?
Right. No, Tekken was last
Right.
year.
Yeah, so it'll be Street Fighter 6, yeah.
Best role-playing game? That one, I feel like, even though Zelda's not an RPG, I feel like it's probably going to go to Zelda.
They're gonna count it as one.
I think they probably will. But if it doesn't, then it should go to Octopath Traveler, probably. Oh, does Tekken 8 this year? I didn't have it on my list.
No. I might be able to figure it out, Faith, but I do not know how to
Oof.
do it off the top of my head. Imagine it takes those little bitty round ones.
Oh, it's because it's not a guaranteed launch in 2023.
Okay. So that was
Could
still
come out in
iffy.
2023.
They did have a big trailer for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Awards for sure.
So if it does come out,
Huh?
it might win.
Because Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna be
That's true. That's an RPG as well.
on that. I still don't know why Lords of the Fallen's on this list. The Lords of the Fallen.
It's the Lords of the Fallen. Don't forget. I don't know. That one's gonna be a tough one. We'll see. Best action adventure. You know, all three screws out and still can't get it apart. That's.
Ooh, Best Action Adventure?
I think that's probably gonna wind up going to Zelda.
Yeah.
But Wolong,
could.
Fallen Dynasty, Black Myth Wukong, Forspoken.
Yeah. Few in there.
Yeah. A couple different ones that can go to. The Lords of the Fallen. Best VR AR. We might as well skip. We don't.
Yeah.
Best action game. That one's probably going to wind up going to 40K Space Marine 2.
How are the Like a Dragon games set up? Ishin and Gaiden.
Oh, I wish they would be counted on there, but they never get brought up at Gaming Awards.
Okay.
They just
Okay.
forget about them every year.
Okay.
'Cause if so, they'd be on there. Jedi Survivor might go here as well, or it might go in Action Adventure. That's a tough call.
Yeah.
RE4 Make as well could be in Best Action, and so could Dead Space Remake.
Oh, dang. Well, there's quite a few for that one then.
Yeah, I would say RE4 Make sweeps that probably.
Maybe.
I think people are going to love that game. Innovation and accessibility, I don't even understand that category well enough to try and tell you what it's going to be. Best community support is probably going to go to Lotro or Guild Wars 2.
Absolutely.
One of the two. So,
Lotro.
best mobile game? We don't have any announced mobile games to my knowledge.
Yeah.
So
Isn't the
I guess technically we have Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, the Battle Royale mobile game.
wasn't the Bayonetta the new one about her backstory and everything?
Yeah, that was going to Switch though. That's not going to mobile.
Oh, okay. It looks like a mobile game.
Yeah, it does. That vampire one, Redfall, that could go. That could get Best Action.
Yeah.
Best Indie. Again, probably either Mina the Hollower or Hollow Knight Silksong if it comes out.
Yeah.
Is Redfall coming to mobile? It might be. Let me double check.
I think there's a Vampire Survivors-esque thing on the mobile.
There is a Vampire Survivors thing on mobile.
Yeah. I don't know if Redfall is or not.
Yeah, I don't see a mobile release for it. But I think you're thinking of Vampire Survivors Faith. And that is already out. That came out last year on mobile, so I don't think it can win. But who knows when it comes to Game Awards, really.
Yeah.
Best ongoing, again, that's Lotro or Guild Wars 2.
Wouldn't Trails into Reverie fall into that?
I wish, but they're going to count it as a new release, even though it's best, like it's another one in a series. I would say best ongoing should include a new one in a series, but they're not gonna.
I see. Yeah, what they're saying.
Fortnite, it could be. No, I understand, Faith, for sure. Best performance. That's going to Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. There's just no doubt in my mind. That's going. It's right there.
Yeah.
Games for Impact. Again, that's a tough one to say, but I think that's going to Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon because it's impacted my life positively.
I'm gonna call out Stalker 2.
Yeah, I think that'll be. Yeah, I think you're right.
on that.
I think you're right.
I'm trying to remember the story from the first one.
And especially what they're dealing with right now, trying to make it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yes.
Best audio design is going to go to Armored Core 6 Fires of the Rubicon. No, it's probably going to go to RE4 Make, to be honest. Or to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We forgot about that completely during RPG.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That might. I don't see it going to 40K Space Marines 2.
I don't either, even though it probably should, because that bolter's probably real good. Best score in music. That's going to be a tough one. I know Forspoken sounds like it's supposed to have a really good score. Obviously, Final Fantasy 16.
Some work. Yeah. Alan Wake 2. Now,
yeah,
I lean on that because, like I said, the band Poets of the Fall did the soundtrack to the first one. I don't know if they're back for the second one.
Right. King, I want it to be Armored Core. I doubt the Game Awards committee will give it to Armored Core. Yeah. I think realistically, we're looking at one of the two Final Fantasy games coming out this year. Octopath Traveler, RE4 Maker, Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Maybe Jedi Survivor. Best art direction?
Ooh.
That's a tough call. That might go to Stalker as well.
It might. There's a couple on here that have their own, like, feel.
Yeah.
For sure.
Black Myth Wukong might take this one.
Yeah, Wulong Final Dynasty?
No, Black Myth Wukong, further down the list underneath Armored Core.
Sorry.
That one's got a real specific art direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way they treated Elden Ring. They didn't get to win anything but Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Best narrative? That's got to go to Final Fantasy 16, right? There's no doubt in my mind. Even if the story's not good, they're going to give it to Final Fantasy 16 because it's a new Final Fantasy.
I don't know.
I hope that story's good. I really hope that story's good.
Well, Game of the Year should mean that, yes. So it should make sense that it picks up some other awards.
Yeah, it should.
Oh.
I mean, I would say it's probably going to go to Trails into Reverie if I thought they would actually put a Trails game on the list, but they never have. So,
if they cared what you think, Trey.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Which is proven they don't. Xenoblade should have won Best Soundtrack.
I don't know. This is another one that Alan Wake 2 might do good in.
Yeah, it might. Marvel Spider-Man 2 might as well. Marvel Spider-Man got a lot of shout-outs for its story for the Game Awards last year. Year before last. Best game direction, I think this one's going to Stalker.
Maybe so.
I think if they have any sense beyond how much money companies pay, I think this needs to go to Stalker because that game has been directed amazingly while they are fighting for their lives.
Under fire.
And then the last one, Game of the Year.
I don't. Lord of the Fallen. No.
It's going to be Zelda, right?
That would probably be a good guess for that. I know it's not going to be Diablo 4.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be. I think both Final Fantasies will do well. I think both Like a Dragons will do well.
I agree.
In some categories, but I don't pick them for that.
Yeah. It's either going to be Legend of Zelda or RE4 Make. There's just no way, in my mind. Tarkov's supposed to release this year. Maybe.
Unless Starfield's actually.
Yeah. If Starfield actually comes out, that might.
Yeah. That might be it.
It might.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Well, you've heard it here first, chat. We predicted the future. Let's throw it over. Rundgren's Corner.
All right. Well, first off, we've got to have a happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And today is Florence Pugh's birthday, which she's a very good actress. She was in, she played the sister in Black Widow, and she was in, in other words, she was really cute and funny.
Yeah.
I like her a lot. She's really cute and funny through that. So happy birthday. I'm sure she's gonna watch this. So
Oh, I'm sure.
make sure that she knows that we knew that it was her birthday.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I've got one story. I got two stories, and I figured, well, by the end of it, I'll have decided. I kind of have it. One is
understand.
yeah, that's about right, and the other one I just kind of find interesting because it seems to me like it's going to be a cultural shift. I don't know that it'll be a cultural shift.
Okay.
Cultural
You have me curious.
Okay, well, I'll pull this one up. So I found this interesting. Okay, so South Korea has just passed a set of bills to abandon its traditional system of calculating ages.
Oh.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is like a big deal because I don't have any comments on this.
Right.
I'd like to find out a little bit more about it. But the current system, and widely known as the Korean age, recognizes people as a year old at birth, but then adds a year to their age every January 1st. Now, I knew that. I didn't know that they also have a secondary aging system that is used to determine your drinking or smoking age, and it counts from 0 at birth, and a year is added on January 1st. So still not on the birthday, on January 1st.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So also, it does use a worldwide standard for medical and legal records since the 1960s. So if you were born, let's say, as of December 9th, if you're 2022, a person born on December 31st in 1992 is 29 under the international standard, be 30 under the South system of calculating age to drink, but 31 under the Korean age method.
Okay.
Right. With that, which I have a feeling it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, that's just how we do it. That's how we've always done it.
Right.
But, and this is where I'm kind of curious about both sides because many, well, okay, back up because the president, Yoon Suk Yeol, has been campaigning on the change, and forgive me for the name, citing administrative and social expenses resulting from having multiple ways of counting people's age.
Right.
So that, they pass bills to bring it to the international standard, what everybody does. And on social media, they seem to have had a pretty good response.
Right.
As, they're like, yeah, hey, awesome. Some people are like, I'm getting 2 years younger. Going through that. But it's, like I said, it's something I didn't know about the other age for calculating your drinking age.
Right.
If you want, but I didn't know about it. I knew about the first one, so it was like, no, I didn't. It was like, okay, that's in my mind. It's like, yeah, okay, that's just the way they do it there.
Yeah.
They
really
started a different counting system. Yeah, but now they're legally gonna require people, and I'm also wondering, is this among everything? Are you putting everything together, or are you just doing it for like government documents,
right,
and government forms where those will be, the ages will be the same with,
yeah.
I don't know. I got one other story for you.
Okay.
I can't leave this one's out. I don't have a lot of information.
All right.
On this one, and I want a little bit more. So, in Florida, this is in Florida. I want to point that out. All right. Deputies responded to a home Saturday after a 911 call was made, but nobody spoke. So they went to the home. They concluded that nobody lived there, but they did find a male suspect and his girlfriend inside the home after entry through an unlocked door. Now, they didn't speak on there, but the female of the duo had called the police to get them to help move she said to move their stuff and give them a ride to the airport. She wanted the police to help them move the stuff they were stealing out of the house and give them a ride. But yeah, make sure that's right. Yeah, move their belongings from the house that they were burglarizing and get a ride to the airport so they could spend the weekend in New York. The sheriff said that the deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport. It was to the, this is a quote, Poke Pokey.
Okay.
Where you're welcome to stay all weekend long. Wow. And apparently, the guy in this burglary, or the female, was calling the police, but didn't talk to get their help, and then asked for the help when they showed up to move their stuff that they were stealing. But that the guy had been filmed on a security video at a Dollar General stealing several items.
Oh,
earlier that day.
Yeah, I mean, might as well just make it complete. Just
yeah, I didn't. The story didn't seem like anything to me. I got to the part where she was like, she asked the police to help them.
Yeah. I have so many questions, and I'm not going to get an answer to any of them.
No. There's not a lot of information. I do need more.
When you started the story, I thought, because I used to work at a tech company that was a forward-facing warehouse, right? They sold a bunch of different technology, and we had to dial 911 as a part of a number that we had to dial to reach the help desk. And so if somebody wasn't careful, it would just go straight to 911, and the cops would show up and be like, hey, you called again. Is something wrong? Because they have to show up. They can't just not show up.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was that.
No. They need help moving the stuff that they were stealing. They thought getting the police would be the way to do that.
Yeah. I mean, just ring them up. They're right down the road, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
yes. That's what I have for you tonight.
All right. We just got another hydrate and another posture check.
You want posture first? Swig of water.
All right. Let's talk about your assignment.
All right.
I've reviewed the footage, and I had a really interesting call this week.
Oh, yes.
From the SCP Foundation, of all places. They have rejected your application to become a researcher at the SCP Foundation.
Well,
I said that your ability to find anomalies was incredible and anomalous behavior, and so they really wanted to bring you on board. However, I'm so sorry. However, you have a problem with gravity where you seem to fly off of surfaces and fall great heights quite often. Yeah. And they were concerned that it could cause a problem in the research if you suddenly decided to fling yourself into the oblivion before them.
Yeah. Well, how are you supposed to find out?
Right.
That's my question back.
That's a good question, but unfortunately they have turned you down this time. Maybe next time.
Okay.
So, chat, what is that soda that's killing you? Well, it is a special soda. A little bit of green and white deceiving you, unsure of what it is. Fun time, that's what it is. It's Fagotine, Dr. Pepper. Rundgren is the anomaly. Don't say that too loud. I need to keep him around. They'll contain him. So, we had a vote. I've rolled the dice. We have 3 games. I need everyone to understand this is random. I need you to understand that, chat. This is random. I'm gonna put the titles in here, and then I'm gonna reveal what they are for the YouTube side. Please do not say out loud in the chat. I guess you can say out loud in front of yourself if you want to, but don't say in the chat the name of any of these games, because we want to surprise Rundgren. All right, you have 2 minutes starting now, and there you go. Koikatsu Party.
We got any plugs while we're waiting on the results?
I'll just plug that. I'll plug that CoffeeZilla video again. If you want to see the whole breakdown of that, you should check out his stuff because he does a really thorough breakdown of all of it. How about you?
No, I'm just thankful everybody shows up. Thankful for our chat and people viewing. They're all awesome.
Get a vote for 3, okay?
All right.
Unless we get another vote, we might actually have our first tie break.
Oh.
Be interesting.
Yes.
But no, we'll also cover the schedule, I guess, real quick while we're doing this, while we're waiting on the vote.
Okay. Go for it.
Tomorrow, Rundgren will play whatever game is decided from this vote momentarily. Thursday, we'll be talking some more D&D stuff. Friday, I'll be painting Sisters. We're almost done. We only have 2 Sisters to go.
Nice.
Monday, we'll be playing some more Lotro. Tuesday, we'll have another regular podcast. And then it was decided at the end of last Friday's stream, next Gunpla we'll be building is the amazing Red Warrior. So.
Yes.
All right. We have about 5 seconds or so left on this vote, which means we're going to do another vote because we have a tie break.
Oh, my.
All right. We're going to do a new poll.
Trying to narrow this down a bit.
And I will remove the one that was not part of the tie break. And here we go, chat. Let's vote again.
The Red Warrior does look pretty cool. Be nice. I don't know where that comes in.
Will not spoil for you.
That's good.
Right now, we are all tied up again, which means there was one vote that went to a different game last time. We need a vote.
I can't play 2 games at once.
Oh, there it goes. We are no longer at a tie break, but we have another minute to go. Anybody that has not voted yet, you should vote soon.
All right.
Where's our other person? They're here now. I'm going to give it another, 20 seconds, and then I'm going to go ahead and just end the poll, because I believe we have the same number of people that have voted now that voted last time, so.
All right. Fair enough. The people have spoken. We need no more time.
That's right. All right, you have 2, 1. I would know, King. I would know. All right. The vote is finished, and the game that you will be playing is called Effie.
Is that EFF?
EFFIE.
Okay.
It is a 3D action adventure game.
Okay, I've never heard of that. That'll be interesting.
The game that it was up against is one you've played before, and that's why I told chat they needed to understand it was all random, but it was the Beast Inside again.
I'm gonna end up having to finish that game.
You probably the dice roll really seems to like it.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Finish it for you. So I will send you the code to Effie.
Okay.
And
that squared away tomorrow.
We will see how that goes. I have high hopes for it. Yep.
Thank you much. Thank you much. Got it.
All right. Well, that reaches the end of the podcast. There's Quack.
Oh, quack.
I think we have pretty much covered everything we want to cover. Again, Gundam XCOM is back. It went up today. So, check that out if you care about that series. I am bad at War of the Chosen. That's all I'm saying. Hopefully, the Dwarf Fortress first episode will go up tomorrow. And then we'll hopefully have something else in the Elden Ring stuff towards the end of the week. But
it's so rude.
With all that said, don't forget, chat, you have new emotes, by the way, so you can add burnt bacon along with the all your bacon burn. Until next time, I've been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
And we've been the Full Spectrum Podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that life has to offer.